Hi and welcome. I'm here with Sophie Monpeyssen from the Ciel Foundation. Welcome, Sophie.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure. I have been privileged to be part of the Ciel screenings for the movie tewelve for the last 2 weeks. And I would love to hear from you specifically around your role as one of the 9 founders of Ciel and maybe the larger mission with the movie and what's kind of emerging out of that.
So my role is like all the other co-founders. It's about being part of a unit, like one cell. And we all have specific keys. And so mine is maybe to be the one who is helping for all the mission. My mission is to help the mission right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a privilege to be part of all the missions and to support as much as I can and to feel so supported by all the team too. And we have also the huge privilege to have met during this tour incredible people in New York, Austin, San Francisco and LA. And on top of that, we really realized that the community was growing. When we arrived in New York, we didn't know that we were going to be with you, Julian and Maria, working together, again as one, for the same goal. And it was just showing us that a cell can grow and expand and spread.
So if I understand you correctly, it's like the oneness on the inside, or this feeling of creating from unity or coherence, and turns into the nucleus, which is maybe the 9 of you guys as the founders of Ciel, but then actually really ripples out into the community, and everyone watching this content is basically also part of this community already in some way. Very interesting. I know also that there's quite a bit of, well, I don't know if I could call it spiritual technology, or like checking in with the spirit, or maybe even the oracle process that is going on in your group, and I'd love to really drop into that if you want to share a little bit, because I feel it's such a unique way how a group or an organism moves, is with a steady openness to check in if this is really in the highest good and the clearest alignment.
So it's not even the highest good, we are looking for the highest right. And sometimes we would like to go for something good and it's not right. So there's no choice at this point. It's okay, we're not going to the good, we're going to the right. So when we're working together, the first thing is, again, we have to think that the channel can happen only perfectly if everyone is at the right place. If someone is putting something in the field is negative, it's going to be much work for the others. So as soon as the field is harder to work with, we are going to work on ourselves to be sure that we're at the right place, to hold the field, the purity of the field, to find the right answers. And so after that, it's just a question of finding the right questions. And the questions they have to be really precise. Obviously, we can do large questions. It's not a problem. But if you want precise answers,
bringing it into the now, into the here now, right in front of us. I like how asking the right questions is kind of like a piece of wisdom. I think that's already quite spread and quite out there. It's people are embracing this idea of living in inquiry, right? Living with a quest towards spirit or one's inner relationship with that spaciousness. Really curious that you guys operate like that as a group, and we're witnessing it through these screenings of this wonderful movie, tewelve, that this unity really shows up through community again.
It's about that. It's about showing to everyone that they can be part of. And this film can be the ripple effect of the 9 co-founders, the cell around, growing, spreading. And the film for us is the best way to show to everyone that we all have the divine in ourselves. So as soon as we are connected, we can just give the hand to the other one and give the hand to the one. So the goal is not anymore to be the best, it's to help the others to be their best.
Committed to helping the group really, or the movement of what wants to emerge. So if you were to distill this into maybe 1 or 2 like nuggets of wisdom for the people watching, in the sense of how can we take this into our personal life? How can what the Ciel is living and templating and bringing back from the ancestral circles and elder wisdom, how can we bring this into our everyday life, no matter where, if it's in LA or London or Berlin or Jakarta?
Always feel that we are not alone. Even if we are alone, physically, we are not. And so at this point is allowing us to be always the best version of ourselves if we want. Because most of the people are doing their best when they are with people, with public around. As soon as you realize that you are never on your own, you are always trying to be the best version of yourself. And it's going into yourself. And at this point you are the best version of yourself. That's the first thing. The second one is to realize that if something is bothering you in someone else, it's because it's part of yourself. And so just at this point, dive into yourself to realize what behaviors or thoughts are preventing you to see that he's exactly like you, you are exactly like him or her. And at this point, we are all together again. It's just about realizing that as soon as we are exactly the same component in ourselves, the feminine, the masculine, and the divine, we are all the same.
Wow, it's arriving in me as you're sharing that, because the notion or that understanding is alive in me, and yet it is really an arriving that in every moment, even in the more lonely moments, to realize we're definitely not alone. So we have a movie to show very soon, so I want to ask you one last question, and that is exactly around the movie. So the movie is called tewelve. It's going to be out and available to watch free online, as I believe in June 2019. What's maybe your one prayer or your one wish around this movie, and how it might inspire people?
For everyone to receive this movie as it was theirs. It's like a book you read and reread and reread. This film is not something you look at only once. You can look at it only once, but if you look at it in second time, in third times, it's beginning to be you, to be yours. And for everyone to realize that those elders are just giving so much that out of respect for what they are giving, it's now for us to step up and to receive and to give back with changing our behaviors and our way to be with the others, the planet and the other living beings.
Step up into guardianship for this beautiful planet. Thank you so much, Sophie.
Thank you.
We are nature. I love this message. I love that we're have the privilege to share this powerful movie that you and the Ciel have created.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.